My name is David, and there's something I should have understood 40 years ago, but I didn't. From the outside, my life looked perfect. I built a company worth over $200 million. I had the corner office, a private jet, a beautiful house by the ocean. Business magazines called me a role model. Young founders asked me how to win, how to grow fast, how to become successful. But here's the truth. No article ever mentioned. While I was building that empire, I was slowly tearing apart the only things that truly mattered. And by the time I finally saw it clearly, most of the damage couldn't be undone. I'm 76 years old now. The company is gone. I sold it years ago. The money is still there. But, if I'm honest with you, I would give all of it away just to go back and make different choices. So if you're watching this and telling yourself, just a few more years, just a little more grind, please listen carefully, because I was exactly where you are, and I was wrong about almost everything. Let me take you back to 1978. I was 30 years old, newly married to Sarah, full of ambition. I had just started my own business, and everyone around me thought I'd lost my mind. But I was determined to prove them wrong. The first 5 years were brutal. 80, sometimes, night. I missed family dinners. Birthdays passed without me. Anniversaries came and went. I was always almost there, always chasing the next milestone. Sarah said she understood, or at least, that's what I told myself. She would smile and say, "It's okay. We're building our future." And I believed her. I truly believed that once we made it once, the business was stable. Life would slow down. We'd have time then. That belief kept me going for 20 years. It was also the biggest lie I ever told myself. In 1983, our daughter Emma came into the world. Sarah went into labor while I was sitting in a boardroom, arguing over numbers on a whiteboard. I told myself I couldn't leave. I said I'd be there soon. I did show up, but not in time. I missed the moment my daughter took her first breath. I promised myself that would never happen again. I told myself I would be there for the moments that mattered, but I wasn't. I missed her first steps. I missed her first day of school. I missed the soccer games where she searched the sidelines for my face. I missed her graduation. My life was full of next times that never came. There's one memory that still keeps me awake at night. Emma was about 7 years old. She walked into my home office holding a drawing our family, hand in hand. She was glowing, waiting for my reaction. But I was on a conference call. I lifted one finger and said, "Just a minute." She stood there, maybe 30 seconds. Then she quietly turned around and left. Years later, I found that same drawing tucked away in a box. At the bottom, in shaky letters, she had written, "I love you, Daddy, even though you're always busy." She was 7 years old when she wrote that. By the time I read it, the moment had already passed forever. By 1995, on paper, we had won. The company was valued at $50 million. We moved into a massive house. We finally took a real vacation to Hawaii, the first one in 12 years. I remember thinking, see, it was all worth it. But something had changed. Sarah no longer waited for me. She had built her own world, friends, routines, charity work. Emma was 13 and spoke to me like a polite stranger. I lived in the same house, but I no longer belonged there. I told myself it was temporary, just a phase. I told myself that once Emma went off to college, once things slowed down, we'd reconnect. I kept waiting for that someday. It never came. In 2001, Emma left for college. Stanford. I was incredibly proud. I told everyone about it. But pride doesn't hide the truth for long. When we dropped her off, she wrapped her arms around Sarah and held on. 5 full minutes. Crying, laughing, holding tight. Then she turned to me. A quick hug. 5 seconds. Stiff, polite, like you'd hug a distant relative. That same year, Sarah asked for a divorce. 23 years of marriage and she was done waiting. She told me she had been alone for most of our life together, that she had learned to stop expecting me to show up. I wasn't her partner anymore. I was just a visitor who slept in the same house. And the worst part, I couldn't argue. She was right. After the divorce, I did the only thing I knew how to do. I worked even harder. The company exploded. $200 million. I ended up on the cover of Forbes. People stopped me to ask how I did it, what my secret was, what sacrifices it took. I never told them the truth. I never told them that I got there by giving up my marriage, my daughter, my health, and myself. In 2009, my body finally forced me to stop. I was 61 years old, sitting alone in my office late at night, just like always. When my chest started to hurt, at first, I ignored it. I always ignored things. But the pain got worse. I drove myself to the hospital. There was no one to call. Sarah had remarried. Emma was living in New York. My assistant only found out the next morning when I didn't show up for a meeting. I lay there in that hospital bed, wires attached to my body, listening to machines breathe for me. And for the first time in my life, everything went quiet. I asked myself a question I had avoided for decades. What was all of this for? I had built something massive, something impressive. But who was it for? Not for Sarah, not for Emma. She had learned how to live without me. It was for my ego, for applause, for a finish line that kept moving further away the closer I got. And lying there, staring at the ceiling, I realized something that terrified me. I had won the game I chose to play, and still, I had lost everything that actually mattered. In 2012, I sold the company. The payout was enormous. More money than I could ever spend in one lifetime. And overnight, the thing that had defined me for decades was gone. I was 64 years old, financially free and completely alone. That's when the question hit me. Now, what? What does life look like when the chase is over, but there's no one waiting for you at the finish line? I tried to fix what I had broken. I started calling Emma every week. I flew to New York whenever she'd let me. I told myself I could still be a good father, but time doesn't work that way. You can't rewind and sit in the bleachers. You can't show up late to childhood and expect it to still be there. Once those years are gone, they're gone forever. Emma is kind to me now. We have lunch sometimes, we talk on the phone, but we don't have what real closeness looks like. No inside jokes, no shared memories that only a father and daughter understand. We're polite, we're respectful, but we're not close, and that distance, that's my doing. 3 years ago, Emma got married. She asked me to walk her down the aisle. I did. That moment meant everything to me. But then came the reception. In her speech, she spoke about her mother, about how Sarah was always there, how she never missed a moment, how she taught her strength, kindness, and integrity. She thanked her for shaping her life. Then Emma looked at me, and she thanked me for coming. That was it. Not for raising her, not for being there, just for showing up like a guest, not a father. That night, alone in my hotel room, I broke down. I cried for the first time in decades. Not because of money, not because of business, but because I finally understood what I had lost. I had missed the moments that actually mattered. I was so busy building something I thought was important that I never stopped to watch my daughter grow up. I wasn't part of her life when it counted. And now, I'm an old man. She's polite too because I'm her father, not because she truly needs me, trusts me, or wants me close. That realization stays with you. It doesn't fade. Here's the truth. It took me 60 years to finally understand. Success means nothing if you end up alone. Money means nothing if there's no one to share a meal with. Achievements mean nothing if the people you love feel like strangers. I look around today, and I see younger men repeating my exact mistakes. I see them working 70, 80 hours a week. I see them skipping dinner because one more report needs to be finished. I see them choosing their careers over their marriages, over their children, over their own lives, and they all say the same thing I used to say. Just a few more years. Once I make partner, once I hit this number, once I reach this goal, then I'll slow down, then I'll focus on family. But that moment never comes, because there's always another target, another promotion, another deal that feels too important to miss. The finish line keeps moving, and while you're chasing it, life is quietly passing you by. Your kids grow up without you, your marriage slowly erodes, and one day, you wake up older than you expected, with a bank account full of money and a heart full of regret. If I could sit across from my 30-year-old self, here's exactly what I would tell him. Your company will survive if you leave at 5. That meeting can wait until Monday. That email can be answered tomorrow. But your daughter's childhood will not wait. Her soccer game is today. Her school play is tonight. And once those moments are gone, they're gone forever. Work will always be there. Always. There will always be another deal, another project, another crisis that demands your attention. But your children won't always be children. Your wife won't wait forever. Your parents won't always be here. The people you love are on a timer. And the most dangerous part, you never know when that timer is going to run out. I have more money than I will ever need. Investments, properties, a retirement fund big enough to support 10 people for a lifetime, and I would trade every single dollar without hesitation. One more ordinary day with Emma when she was 7. One quiet evening with Sarah before I slowly pushed her away. One real chance to be present instead of always being somewhere else in my mind. Here's the part nobody talks about. No one at my company remembers me. I sold it. New management came in. Within 2 years, it was as if I had never existed. The deals I lost sleep over, forgotten. The milestones I celebrated, irrelevant. The achievements I thought would last forever. Just tiny footnotes in business magazines nobody reads anymore. But Emma remembers. She remembers every time I wasn't there. Every birthday I missed. Every promise I broke. Every moment I chose work over her. Those memories didn't fade. They shaped her. They shaped us. And there is nothing I can do to erase them. I'm 76 years old now. I live alone in a condo by the beach. I have time, too much of it. I read, I travel, I volunteer, and most days, I sit quietly with my thoughts. I think about the life I could have had if I had understood one simple truth earlier. Success isn't measured in money. It isn't measured in deals, titles, or square footage. Success is measured in relationships, in presence, in love. So if you're watching this and you're working late again tonight, I need you to stop. Close the laptop. Turn off the phone. Go home, sit at the table with your family. Listen to your kids talk about their day. Watch that show with your spouse. Be there, fully there. Because, I promise you this, 20 years from now, you won't remember what that report said, but you will remember whether you were present for the moments that mattered. And if you're thinking, but I'm different, my situation is different, I'm building something important, I thought that too. Every man who makes this mistake thinks he's the exception. We're not. We all think we have more time than we do. We all think family will wait. We all think we can fix it later. You can't. I learned this lesson 40 years too late. Don't make the same mistake. Learn it now. Go home. Be present. Choose your family. Because at the end of your life, nobody will care about your career accomplishments. But the people you love will remember one thing, whether you were there. And if you're not careful, you'll end up like me. Successful, accomplished, comfortable, and completely alone. If this story makes you uncomfortable, good, it should. If it makes you want to change something, even better. Don't wait. Don't tell yourself tomorrow or next year. Do it today. Do it now.